We're always on the edge. We fight and make love at the same time. Would you break up just because I told you what I did last night? I recall the times you said you're sorry. I'm still not sure if you told lies, but I don't care, it's all forgotten now. We're holy when we touch anyhow. Holy when we touch anyhow. Give me a chance to make it right. Just let me touch you like the first time. We don't need answers to survive. Just let us keep on with the black guys. With the black guys. Hanging up to see if you would call me. I miss you more when you seem too far away. And you can blame it all on me as long as we can find our way. Do you remember all the times we tried to stop this? Yeah, we end up the same every time. Cause when our bodies meet, there's nothing left to fight about. We're holy when we touch anyhow. Give me a chance to make it right. Just let me touch you like the first time. We don't need answers to survive. Just let us keep on with the black guys. Give me a chance to make it right. Just let me touch you like the first time. We don't need answers to survive. Just let us keep on with the black guys. Somewhere in between our secrets, there's an imminent storm. It's unavoidable, yeah. But as long as I feel that you see me, I will pay no mind at all. So give me a chance to make it right. Just let me touch you like the first time. We don't need answers to survive. Just let us keep on with the black guys. Give me a chance to make it right. Just let me touch you like the first time. We don't need answers to survive. Just let us keep on with the black guys. We are sweet on our secrets. Telling black guys to keep them.
What's up, guys? The live stream is live. We're here. You're here. I'm here. We're all going to learn. We're all going to learn something today. We're going to learn who is the best Fat Shark module. And not just Fat Shark module, because I always say Fat Shark module, but we have Ichine EV200 in the shootout. We have Aomway Commander V2. We have Skzyone, Skyo 3. Those are whole goggles. So, yeah, not just Fat Shark models, but we're going to learn what's the best. And I'm not going to screw around and waste your time, drag it out for 2 hours. Like, I was like, how am I going to run the live stream? Well, we could watch the results together, all 17. No, I'm not going to do that. But I am going to kill a little bit of time here in the beginning just to let people trickle into the room, you know, and make sure that when I make the announcement of who won and what the results were, that people don't miss it, and give you guys a little bit of perspective. So, you know, we're just going to chat for a little bit while hanging out, you know, a Saturday afternoon. I heard I scheduled this for just the same time as kickoff. Kickoff, that's football. Pretty sure. It's football games start at 1 p.m. on a Sunday. What's more important, really? What's more important? I see people in the chat announcing their belief as to who's the best. Someone said Trudy is the best bang for the buck. Is it? You don't know that. You're going to find out. I mean, I feel like these results are going to really teach us things that we didn't know before about, like, when you don't know what you're looking at, which one do you really think is the best? I mean, because you say Trudy is the best bang for the buck, but maybe Achilles is the best bang for the buck. Maybe it performs just as good, but is cheaper. We'll see. Let me do this. Let me welcome to the live stream my patrons. My patrons are, hang on, hello guys. Are you there? You can hear you.
Hello.
Hey, there you are, Krakenmeister. And in case you in the chat are wondering who these people are, these lovely voices on the stream with me, these are my patrons. I have a Patreon page. You can find links to various ways to support me down in the video description down below. And one of the benefits you get by becoming one of my patrons, giving me $1, $2, $3, maybe more dollars a month, is you get to hang out with me on live streams and type in the back. Kraken, push to talk, Kraken. I hear your hang on. I hear your beautiful mechanical keyboard. I love them.
My bad. I will.
This is my mechanical keyboard. It sounds good. I'm with you, man. Anyway, so we're just going to be chatting and hanging out as we announce the results. I am watching the chat. Hello, chat. If I join Patreon, will you jostle more things? Streaming is locked. Simon Fly, I don't know what that means. Streaming is locked. Stream looks good. Everything looks good to me, to my end. And I am monitoring the super chat. Thank you, RDFPV. Thank you, JROMFPV. Thank you, Prop City, for sending a couple bucks. And I will tell you guys, in case you're new here, streaming's buffering. I don't know, man. I feel like
try refreshing the page.
Yeah, try reloading.
Yeah,
try reloading the stream if you got no video. It looks to me like there's video. How are we looking, patrons?
My video's fine.
Yeah, okay. Reload the page.
Video's good.
If you can't see the stream, reload the page. Okay, guys? Figure it out. So. Hang on. Now I lost my train of thought. Oh, I was about to say, in case you're new here, this is what I do full-time. This is my full-time job. So I work a lot to put out results to help you guys make better decisions for your money. Buy the right product, find out which product is best, and I certainly appreciate if you guys find ways to support me. And one way you can do that is to become a patron. Another way you can do that is to use affiliate links. I have links to all of the products that we're going to look at today down in the video description. And if you decide to buy one of those products, or actually you don't have to buy any of the, when you use, it's a little known fact, and this is true for all affiliate links, you don't have to buy the actual product that is linked to. You can click that link and buy anything, and the person gets credit for it. So I certainly appreciate it if you do that. And of course, the super chat, definitely get super chat. Love it. Appreciate anything you guys give me. What I want to do first is give you guys a little bit of background, in case you're curious about exactly how I'm running the test, into how I ran the tests. I've got the goggles set on the table like so, and the GoPro is aligned very carefully so it can just shoot into the eyepiece and see what exactly the goggle is picking up. Both GoPros are set to manual exposure, and the goggles are set to exactly the same brightness and contrast, so you should see an absolutely consistent image between the two of them. But remember, the goal here is not so much to compare the image of the goggles, which should be pretty much the same since they're the same goggles. The goal is to compare how much breakup there is between the two modules. Notice that the modules are set on the table in exactly the same position, and some people would say, well, doesn't that small difference in, doesn't that make a difference in like multipath bouncing and so forth? And the thing is, there's no way to win this one. You either put them so close together that the antennas are interfering with each other, because now a signal coming in from here, that can have an effect. Or you give them enough spacing that they're relatively independent, but there's no guarantee that they'll get the same multipath bounces. My hope is that by putting them pretty close together and then flying a whole circle around the place, that if one of them catches a good bounce and the other catches a bad bounce, well, it'll all even out since we're flying a full 360-degree circuit, and we can still figure which is better or which is worse. Okay, so one of the things that was mentioned in the comments is it'd be good if you used a drape. And yeah, the video is just unusable if you don't put a towel or something over the goggles, which of course I did. And what I want you to take from that is that you are seeing exactly what was in the goggles as best I could get with adjusting the exposure and stuff. So you definitely, this is not DVR. You're literally having the experience of looking in the goggles. One of the things people have asked about in my previous testing has been, does this really show the modules at their best? Because they do their best when they're getting multipath reflections. And that's why I am doing this test here in my carport, because these big flat concrete walls and this right here, this flat concrete pad, and frankly, having the house right here, the signal when I'm on the far side of the house is passing through the house.
With
we should be getting some bounces off the walls and getting some. Hold on 1 second. This is really kind of a worst case scenario. Well, the worst case scenario would be inside a bouncy area, but this is the best we're going to get here at my property. It's not the same as if we were at some concrete bando. That would be the worst case scenario, but it's more multipathing than if we're just standing out in the middle of a field. I'm sorry. Now you can hear me. My bad. I really want you guys to interpret these results in the right way. No. I got the audio. Come on back.
I'm sorry. Now you can hear me. My bad.
There you go. I'm hearing some feedback now.
I really want you guys.
Okay. I'm deafening you guys in chat briefly. Can you guys put yourself on push to talk? Everybody in the Discord chat. I'll give you a second to do that. I really want you guys to interpret these results in the right way. Some people are going to see these results and go X1 and then just go buy it. And that's cool. I dig that. And if you do that, use one of my affiliate links down below. But remember that there are, especially the ClearView and the RapidFire module are designed to excel in a strong multipath environment. And multipathing is when there's signal bouncing around and there's the direct path which goes straight between the two antennas, and then there's a bounced path which bounces off a wall and comes back, and they interfere with each other, and that can really screw up your video. It doesn't make your video better, it makes your video worse. And so if you fly a lot, if you fly tiny whoops indoors, and if you fly a lot in bandos, those are two environments. If you fly indoor races at auditoriums, like if you fly DRL or something, those are environments where you definitely would want to see a test specifically in that environment to see who's best. Because this test, even though I've tried to make there be as much multipath as there can be in my environment, it doesn't really excel in that case. However, I know that there is some multipathing because I could see it in the video, and I could see the clicks and flashes. And I know a lot of people fly freestyle just like I do in this environment. And if you fly in an environment kind of like mine, then this test is pretty definitive, I think. So, okay, so that disclaimer is out of the way. Especially if you fly in high multipath environments, you should pay a little more attention to a test, and hope maybe someday I'll do that test next, right? But if you fly in environments like this is a test for you. Eric Wickland says, next time you could use a power splitter off each antenna and use the same antennas for both with about 3 dB or so of insertion loss. Eric, I've had that thought, and the problem is that you would need an absolutely perfectly calibrated power splitter. Most power splitters would not be calibrated to ensure that each signal was getting exactly 50%. So it might be, 45, 55, at which point you're skewing the results based on which one gets a little bit more signal or a little bit less. So the flip side of that, though, Eric, is that the antennas, well, how consistent are the antennas that we're using, right? All of the antennas that I've used in these tests are brand new, never flown, very carefully, and try to make it as consistent as possible. And it's just a question of which one is going to seem to give the best or the worst results. The absolute right way to do these tests is to do a bunch of the same test over and over again, and to swap antennas and swap things around to try and then do like a numerical analysis to try and figure out what the result is. We just don't have time. Asking you guys to watch 17 videos is enough. So with all of that out of the way, now we are up to 421 people in the stream. Welcome everybody. We're going to start revealing the results. And we'll go over here. This is the results in test number 1. Which was better? Should I go numerically? I guess I'm going to go numerically because I can't think of any other way to do it. I'm going to take Discord. You're off mute, Discord, if you want to try and chime in and participate. I hope everybody's on push to talk now. Anyway, it's all good. Yep, unmuted. Oh, was I? Oh, I'm sorry, Discord. I was muted. You guys couldn't hear me. I apologize, guys. Sorry about that.
It's fine.
There you go. Now we're all back. It's all good. This is not a professional broadcast. All right. So I'm just going to go numerically because I can't think of a more fun way to do it. So test number 1, we can see test number 1 was incredibly definitive. Almost everyone felt that the right one was better. And in test number 1, left, let's see, how am I going to do it? Let's see, let me just close this. There we go. Left, ClearView module, right, RapidFire. So in test number 1, RapidFire absolutely dominated the ClearView module. And I'm just going to keep going. I'll give Chad a chance to chime in, or Discord. What'd you guys think of test number 1? Anything?
I mean, it was a definitive right side. If I remember correctly, the video on the left side was a bit more washed out, and the right side was way more contrasty, like it had better contrast.
Yeah. Yep. And what I want to do is, after we announce the results, I actually have a graphic that I made which shows all the results at once. Okay, I don't want to give them away right here at the beginning. But then maybe we'll go back at the end of the live stream and take a few minutes and we'll look at some of the videos and talk about them. So, ClearView module, okay, test number 2. And by the way, if any of you guys out there thought you knew, which one was, that one was RapidFire, because people were making guesses in the comments. Every single one was wrong. And I really want you guys to take this to heart, because I think people dramatically overestimate their own ability to predict these things, and people overestimate their own certainty and competence. And I think that if you take away from these blind results, oh damn, it wasn't what I thought, then it'll be a good thing to carry forward just in your life. Okay, test number 2. Good, yes, Ed Kennedy, MC's Creations. I knew nothing, I still don't know. There you go, that's a good attitude. In test number 2, now this is an interesting one. Test number 2, it seems to me like the left one clearly won, but not as definitively as test number 1. The majority of people thought the left one had a slight advantage. Some people thought the left one had a big advantage, or were definitively better, and some people thought it was about 50-50. Very few people thought the right one won. In test number 2, the left one, True D. The right one, LaForge. And that result, I got to tell you guys, that result surprised me. I have done my own testing and tried to be as objective as I can, and I have always felt that True D and LaForge were very close depending on which test I was running, and in my experience I felt like LaForge edged it out. I will tell you, I retested these guys later. This was one of the second round of testing. I was like, hey, you retest. So I retested it, and we'll come back and we'll see if they got the same result. Someone asked, what is left and one is right? What is the left side here? So if we see number 1 as winning, then left 1. So in this one, right 1, which is RapidFire. See, right side of the graph, left side of the graph, right? So I retested True D and LaForge later. We'll come back and we'll see. In test number 3, Similar results to test number 2. A clear win for the left side, but not like a dominating win. Test number 3. Left is OwlRC module. Right is LaForge. I'm being really careful to make sure that I get these right. So, yeah, okay, I can mark the winners. That's a good point. Let's see. Right is RapidFire. Hang on. Left is TrueD winner. Left is OwlRC. Right is LaForge. OwlRC winner. Good, good. And again, I got a graph for you guys. Later to show you all the results. But we'll walk through it because that's more fun to do them one at a time. In test number 4, left one was OwlRC. Right one was, because in test number 4, you can see the right one won. So who beat it? Chat, what do you think? Who beat OwlRC in this one? RapidFire, says the Discord.
TrueD, maybe?
Who was it? Austin Powers, LaForge was not winner over TrueD. In test number 2, TrueD was the winner over LaForge, although I did retest it. In test number 4, the right one was RapidFire. RapidFire won over OwlRC on that one. In test number 5. Hold on, trying to keep up with all the chats and everything. Dunning-Kruger is real, says Capstad in the Discord. In test number 5. So test number 5 is interesting because if you had to pick a winner, you would say the left one won, right? Most people felt that it was pretty neutral. Slightly more people felt that the left side was ahead. But I feel like this is not as definitive a win for left as like this is a definitive win for right. So this one is a win, but it's not like a landslide win. In test number 5, I should mark the winner. Hang on. No, LaForge win over in test number 3. Let me double check that. In test number 3, left is OwlRC, and OwlRC won, right? OCD FPV. In test number 3, it's pretty clear. Discord, have I got this right? It's pretty clear that left won, and left was OwlRC. Okay. Keep me honest. The winner was
the way the voting is it's a sliding scale. Prefer. So number 2 is prefer left, and number 4 is prefer right, and number 1 is like left.
Correct.
Definitely won. Number 5 is right. Definitely won. So in 3, it's the left side.
Yeah. So yeah, 1 is strongly prefer the left. 2 is slightly prefer the left. 3 is neutral. Or just couldn't pick a winner. And by the way, very few of them couldn't pick a winner. Most people felt they could pick a winner. All right, test 5.
More feedback.
What's that?
Oh, it's just more feedback. People aren't using push to talk.
Yeah, I could set that in permissions, but I haven't. So, oh well, no big deal. Test number 5. Test number 5 is a slight win for the left, and the left was OwlRC, and the right, who was test number 5, was Achilles. And hang on, that is Achilles running on the Eachine Pro 58 module. Achilles is now also available on the Real ACC module, and I'm not sure if that would be better or worse, right? Yeah, Crash FPV makes a good point. Crash FPV says in the chat, it's data. Your personal choice is unaffected. You're 100% right, Crash FPV, and I want everybody to take that into account. If you looked at test number 5 and you were one of the 36 people who thought the right one was better, go buy the Achilles. You thought it looked better, and that's all that matters for you. And that's why I'm publishing these results, so that you can go back and look at your results and see which ones you voted for. But if you're on the fence and you just want to see what other people think is best, then that's what we're here for. Okay? Ultimately, it's your money. You buy which one you like the best. All right, test number 6. Wow. Now, test number 6 is about as hard a neutral as I can imagine. Look, 134 on the left, 136 on the right, 45 on the left, 46 on the right. This is just a dead tie. So who was it? Left is Achilles. Oops. Hold on here. Left. Damn it. Left is Achilles. Right, LaForge. No winner here. Dead tie. Yep. JROM FPV asks, did I test the ClearView ground station? I did. It is in here. I was actually flying off the ClearView ground station for most of these. MECE66, say the prices of these modules. We can run that down, but I want to focus on announcing the test results, and then we can. What I'll do at the end is I'll give you guys a little bit of a rundown of other factors that could come into your buying decision, not just the raw test results. But for now, I just want to focus on these test results. Oh, and by the way, I've also got a ranking. So I actually took these results and said, okay, if A beat B and B beats C, then here's the order, okay? So I'm going to show you guys the ranking at the end as well. Here we go. No, the creator of Achilles doesn't work for LaForge. That's Shay Ivey that you're thinking of, T. Jenga, and he is the creator of the original RX 5808 firmware. He works for UBAD and LaForge. Yep. Test number 7. Test number 7 is a clear win for the left side. Definite win for the left side. The majority of people felt that it was strongly preferred. Then some people felt it was slightly preferred. A few people felt it was neutral, and almost nobody thought the right side was better. So who was test number 7? Test number 7, left, True D. Right. I'm going slow here so I don't type it wrong. Doc King. True D and Doc King. Now this is a weird one. I have always said, every time I've tested the Doc King versus the True D module, the Doc King has done worse for me. And that's weird because Furious FPV says the Doc King should make the True D perform better. I asked True D for another Doc King to use in this test, and instead of sending me another Doc King, they sent me a pre-production product. They said, we'll test this instead. So my Doc King has always done worse, and you guys apparently agree, than my True D. Other people have posted tests where they show the Doc King doing much better than the True D. I don't know why that is, but mine, maybe mine is defective. I don't know. Tree Skills FPV, can you not go back and see your results and your voting? I'm not sure how the form is set up, but I kind of thought you could do that. Could you link
the form in chat so people could take a look at it real quick?
I can try to do that. Let's see if I do send and link. Here, I will link the form in chat if you guys want to try to go look. I'm posting it. By the way, that's why I have slow mode chat on. The form is closed. I guess you guys can't see the. I don't know if there's a way for you to see your results. I'm sorry about that if there isn't.
Yeah, you have to add permissions. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to work for this.
Well,
one.
I've got the results. I've got the results turned off, so nobody can go back and. Let me see if I can. Hang on.
Maybe after the live stream is over, then you can...
I've got respondents can edit after... Yeah, I'll tell you what, guys. What I'm going to do is, since I've got edit after submit turned on, if I then let you guys go back in to change the results, you should be able to go back in and see your results. But I've got it turned off right now, so you can't change the results while I'm announcing them. So I'll turn that back off, and you guys can should be able to go back to the forum and change your results or see what your results are. But it does mean that after this live stream, the forum will be no longer valid. All right, test number 7. Test number 8. So test number 8 was the True D versus the new unreleased prototype device that Furious sent me. And the new prototype Furious thing won. I can't tell you more about it, but I did get permission, if it won, to tell you guys that it won. And if it lost, to pretend it never existed. So, since it won, that's what test number 8 is. So, Furious is working on something, and maybe it will be cool and awesome. What firmware was on the TrueD? It was, I think, it was the latest, whatever the latest release firmware is. I think it was 3.7, and right now there's a 3.8 RC1. But I did the test on the release firmware, and yeah, I also updated the firmware on the Dock King. Furious sent me the thing. I checked the firmware. I checked everything I could check, and the Dock King just never did better for me. So, yep, I think it's 3.7, but I basically made sure that every one of these was on the latest. All right, test number 9. Test number 9. Clearly, the right side won. It's not quite as definitive as it could be. A fair number of people, 10% people, thought the left side was better, plus 3% thought it was way better, but the right side clearly won. In test number 9, the left side, Skzyone, Skyo 3. Ooh. Right side, LaForge. Okay, so one of the comments I saw was, I'm going to be so impressed when Skzyone mops up the field with all these Fatshark modules. Nope. Sorry, it didn't. Anthony Cenobite Farr, I think every environment could change these results. You're not wrong, Anthony. I mean, in some environments with the amount of multipath and that tests the diversity algorithm, then some results are going to change. Some modules are going to do better with diversity, multipathing, and some aren't. The other thing that you guys should keep in mind, and it's a shame, but there's manufacturing variances. When you buy these products, they're not made to like a scientific instrument level of standard. And so you could have slightly better sensitivity on one than the other. I didn't do this because I didn't want to waste you guys' time. And I felt it was more important to find differences between modules than this. But I would love to have done this test and bought 5 different LaForges and had you guys rank them. And I'll bet that some of them would do better than others, just by manufacturing tolerances. So we're doing our best to get results here. But at the end of the day, maybe the TrueD that I happened to get is slightly good, and maybe the LaForge I happen to own is slightly worse. And without doing just a whole lot of blind testing that nobody's going to do, it's really hard to actually account for that. So here we are. Moving on. Test number 9, LaForge beat Skzyone. Test number 10, right side, edged out. In test number 10, left side, Aomway Commander V2. Right side, LaForge. Winner. Okay, so the Skzyone and the Commander were both beaten by LaForge. Number 11. Test number 11. Now this is interesting because in test number 11, the left one clearly won, but a lot of people felt that they were too close to call. So in test number 11, left side, RapidFire. Right side, ClearView module. Now this is interesting because in this test, we were at 800 milliwatt transmit power. This is one of the first tests that I did actually during my live stream. Most of these tests were done with 200 milliwatt transmit power because I feel that that's the transmit power where you get enough weakness in signal to start to see some breakup, but also a strong enough signal to get some multipath. In this test, I was at 800 milliwatts, and in this case, RapidFire still won, but it wasn't a landslide like it was in the first test at 200 milliwatts. Take from that what you will. Krakenmeister, you're pretty sold that TrueD is superior. You're going to find out if you're right, because again, let me remind you guys, at the end of this, I am going to give you a final ranking I worked out the final ranking from first to last as to, which was best. If A beat B and if B beat C, then A beat C, that kind of thing. Test number 12, right side, clearly won. In test number 12, left side is OwlRC. Right side is RapidFire. So there we go. Alrighty, so then we will go after these results. After these results, I went back and I looked at them and I figured out, okay, who do we need to retest to make sure the results are valid, and what tests can we run to further segment and figure out who is ahead. And I added the Eachine EV200 into the test. I actually I gave the Eachine EV200 to one of my patrons a while back, and I actually said, "Hey, can I pay you to overnight them back to me so I can test them?" And so what we're gonna see. Oh, we need to mark the winner on 11. Yep, we'll do the winner on 11 was the RapidFire, but not as definitively. Got it. So let's do the last 5 tests, and then we will discuss the results. ClearView ground station is in the test. It's coming. It's one of the last tests I did. Test number 13. Right side clearly just dominated. Left side. ClearView module. Right side, RapidFire. Okay, so this is really just... And for me, I had you guys retest this because I really wanted to be sure. RapidFire was set to mode 1. So, and this is... Oh, good question. RapidFire was set to mode 1, the original RapidFire diversity mode, and this is the latest hardware. If you have Gen 1 hardware, you often have problems with mode 1, okay? And you need to use diversity mode 2. But this is the latest hardware RapidFire. And I want to talk about RapidFire because RapidFire is winning a lot of these. And I feel like RapidFire has to be taken with a grain of salt. But anyway, so let's acknowledge that RapidFire is winning these shootouts. But I want to put a grain of salt on that at the end. But it is winning. Okay. Test number 14. Adam was the OwlRC module the finished product? Very good question. This is not the finished product of the OwlRC module. This is a pre-production sample that was sent to me months ago. It is possible that the production OwlRC modules will do better or worse than this, and that does have to be acknowledged. Tumashkurk asks, what firmware for the ClearView? The ClearView was on 109 firmware, I think it is. I will tell you that the ClearView module was overnighted to me by Iftron one day before the test, specifically for the test. So it's got whatever firmware they thought was the best. I think it's the 109, and it is the updated and fixed hardware. It's the absolute latest as of like 1 week ago, okay? So yeah, this is the absolute best chance the ClearView had to succeed, and you guys have decided that it didn't. Again, WP, so far RapidFire and TrueD are dominating. Be careful. Let's look at the overview before we get there. Okay, so test number 14, right side, absolutely dominated. In test number 14, left was the EV200D. Right was the RapidFire. And you say RapidFire is dominating, and the reason for that is because I was kind of using RapidFire as, I was like, well, who can beat it? Because it was doing so well. So it was in more tests. So the fact that it's winning more often is significant, but I didn't test the EV200D at all other than that. So all we know is that the EV200D didn't beat the very best one so far. We don't know where the EV200D comes in compared to like the TrueD or the LaForge. Test number 15, rock, solid, neutral. Pretty neutral. Test number 15, left side was LaForge, right side was TrueD. So I would call this a dead tie. There might be a slight edge to one side or the other, but it's pretty, I think, okay, we have to acknowledge, I guess, TrueD has a slight edge, about 15 more votes for TrueD. It's pretty freaking neutral. So I'm going to call this one a dead tie. If you want to call this one a tiny edge for TrueD, go for it. I wanted to retest that because LaForge and TrueD. So what we can say is that in none of these tests did LaForge beat TrueD. TrueD beat LaForge whenever they were against each other, which is twice, or tied it. Okay. Test 16. 2 more to go. Test 16. Test 16 is, I think we have to call this one for the left side. Left side clearly won, but it's definitely not like a clear, definitive win. Boost Jank, these are all 5.8 gigahertz. There's no 2.4 gig in here. Okay. EV200, oh yeah, good point. MECE66, that is a great question about the antennas. Let me actually
This is a weird one, so I wanted to document it. This is the EV200, and since it has quadversity, we got to figure out what to do with its 4 antennas. Nobody else has that, so we know it's not a fair fight, but he's the only one who came with quadversity, so there you go. What I've done is I've given it 2 omnidirectional antennas for best sort of diversity. I've got one of the omni antennas pointing off in the direction that we fly when I do the long distance out and back in the sky. It's not really long distance, I know, and I got one antenna pointing back at the house, so that when we go behind the house, we might have some additional antenna gain there. That's what I would do if I were flying in this location. That's how I would arrange the antennas. So that's how we're going to do it here.
There we go. Volume. Okay, so that's how I did it. And basically, I ran it against RapidFire because I was like, well, crap, if EV200 with quadversity beats RapidFire, that is going to be an amazing result. It didn't. Now, would it have beaten TrueD, LaForge, any of the other sort of middle of the pack guys? We don't know because there just wasn't that much time to ask you guys testing. TrueD won over LaForge in the first test. That is correct. And the second test, it was much closer. Any ideas why?
Maybe it was the weather.
I don't know. That's just the nature of this kind of testing. And one of the things I want to talk about as we go into the end of the video is that there are other factors that you should consider when deciding which one of these to buy. We're focusing on the RF testing here. There are things that make this RF testing not as reliable as it seems, although I submit this is the most reliable RF testing you have ever seen of any Fatshark module or FPV receiver. No DVR, we're looking at the screen, side by side, same goggles, same antennas, blind testing. Nevertheless, things like manufacturing tolerances and just, run the test twice and get different results. What does that mean? So think about other things. It's fun to see who wins these tests, but there are other things to think about. Like Henry asks, does TrueD have an OSD? LaForge has an OSD, and TrueD doesn't today. Yeah, all tests, same output power, absolutely. Okay, so we're going to talk about that stuff, but let's get the results out. Let's get the last couple results out. In number 16, left side won, but not like a landslide. And in test number 16, left side is OwlRC, right side is TrueD. And I think we got to call the winner for OwlRC here. Okay. Oh, you guys can't see the results. Sorry. Oh, there they are. There they are. Now, I do want to take 1 second, and I have to thank. I got one more result to announce, and it was a landslide. And it's here. Let me let you look at it. Here it was. There it is. One more result to announce, and it's a landslide. And it is the ClearView ground station versus the RapidFire. And before I do that, I want to thank our sponsors, by which I mean, hang on. There we go. I want to thank GetFPV for sending me a bunch of Lumenier Axii Patch antennas for this testing. This is the patch antenna that I used. In the past, I've used the TrueRC X-Air, which is a 10 dB patch crosshair antenna. This is a little bit smaller. It has a little bit lower gain, so it's a little more circular. Yes, Trudy versus RapidFire. Is that in here? No, Trudy versus RapidFire. That is correct. I'll tell you. Hang on. I'll tell you what we did. Hang on. I'll get there. So thank you, GetFPV, for sending me these antennas, and I'll give you a shout out here. There's a link to this antenna down in the video description if you want to check it out. And also, I need to thank ReadyMadeRC for sending these Strix Hoot antennas. These are a Lindenblad design similar to the TBS Triumph antenna, so it's a similar internal design. But I like these, well, because they're orange, and I dig orange. I like the clear markings, and I find that the coax is really durable. They are available in SMA. You can also get them as MMCX. And they sent a bunch of these for the testing, and I got to thank ReadyMadeRC and give them a big shout out. I also have to thank GetFPV, who sent me the RapidFire module that I used in the testing. They had just gotten a shipment of the newest hardware, and they sent it out. Links to that is all down in the video description, and if you want to use those, if you want to especially get some of that stuff, I really thank the guys who sent the stuff that made this test possible. Okay, so the last one is ClearView ground station versus the RapidFire. And the left one is the ClearView ground station. I know, it blew my mind. It blew my freaking mind. It blew my mind. I watched the video and I was like, I'm sorry, it just lost. It just lost. So in this testing, and this blows my mind, in this testing, there's just no question that RapidFire dominated. And what I want you guys to see, I want to show you guys the... what do you guys think about that, Discord? What do you guys think about that?
I'm kind of surprised. I think your ground station would have done a lot better.
I do too. I really expected it to do way better.
I mean, those ground stations aren't cheap, right?
It's $400 for the race ground station and $700 for the pro version. The race version is all you really need as an FPV pilot. The pro version has, yeah. And I've seen the ClearView ground station just dominate before, but never in a blind test. So, and I mean, on some level, I thought to myself, surely this just means the test results need to be thrown out. And that is, I guarantee you, I mean, Iftron hasn't seen these results yet. I didn't reveal these results to, well, I previewed the results to a couple people, but nobody has really seen these results. And I'm sure that the guys at Iftron are going to say, if the ClearView ground station didn't beat the RapidFire in a fair test, then the test is invalid. And I respect that claim. I've done everything I can to make these tests as fair and neutral and transparent as possible, and this is just the result is what it is. I had the same thing happen with a battery test. Daniel Godowski, did you buy the RapidFire or receive it from Immersion? I didn't buy it. It was sent to me by GetFPV from a shipment they received. So this is not cherry-picked from Immersion. It was just grabbed off the shelf by GetFPV and sent to me. Thank you, GetFPV. I had somebody once criticize one of my battery tests and say, these two batteries you tested, they're the same cells internally. So since you said one was better than the other, your test must be invalid. And I said, look, I ran the test. The results are what they are. I don't think they're the same. And it turns out they weren't the same. So in this test, on this day, under these circumstances, RapidFire beat ClearView. And here's what I have to say about that. For almost more than twice the price, ClearView just needs to win every time. There just can't be any ambiguity. So I feel like, let's go to the ranking. Let's go to the rankings. I feel like in this testing, hang on a second. In this testing, ClearView was a big loser in this testing because it didn't just definitively win every single test. And, you know, when we get to like Achilles versus RapidFire, there's a little bit of sort of like, well, but if it didn't win every single test, ClearView had a huge bar because of its price, and it failed to meet that bar. I feel really confident saying that. So then, what do we got? RapidFire. Here is the logic that I used to come up with the ranking. I'm not going to walk you through the whole logic. And then, in the second round of tests, then here is the final ranking that I came up with. RapidFire won. In second place, OwlRC and TrueD, but it's not clear who was better. Why didn't I put TrueD on the same level as RapidFire since I never matched them up? Because like RapidFire beat OwlRC and OwlRC was neutral against TrueD or something. That's the logic, you understand? So third place, LaForge and Achilles were very close. Fourth place, Skzyone and Commander were beat by LaForge beat Skzyone and Commander, and therefore they're below it. Then ClearView is somewhere below RapidFire, but I mean, is ClearView better than LaForge? Don't know, don't care. At a price of $300+, if it doesn't beat everybody, forget it. Doc King is below TrueD, for me at least. My Doc King is worse than TrueD, so I would take the unless mine's defective. This new pre-release thing from Furious that isn't going to exist for months beat TrueD. How good could it be? I don't know. And so then the final thing we got to talk about is this. In the second round of testing, LaForge pulled a hard neutral against TrueD, but it had a hard neutral against Achilles in round 1. So either we have to take TrueD and say TrueD is equal to LaForge, and since LaForge is equal to Achilles, TrueD needs to come down to rank 3. Or we need to say TrueD was equal to LaForge, so LaForge and Achilles need to come up. And I'm not sure, because if we do that, then we end up with basically RapidFire is the winner, OwlRC, TrueD, LaForge, and Achilles are basically equal, and Skzyone and Commander are the worst. And if I had to really stand behind these results, that's what I would say. But I know you guys you guys wouldn't be really happy to just see RapidFire at the top and then everybody else in the middle. So maybe more testing is necessary, or maybe you know all you need to make a decision. Now, and then finally, EV200D is below RapidFire. EV200D did not beat RapidFire, but where else is it? So, yeah. One of the YouTube commenters said, "You are flying alone. Can you address that?" Yes, absolutely. So one of the things that you care about in these tests is the ability of the receiver to reject interference. In other words, when somebody powers up and blasts you out of the air, you don't lose the signal. And I didn't test that. That's not in this test. Presumably, the ClearView and the RapidFire's ability to lock on to the sync pulses and not lose them would make them better at that, but I haven't tested that, and that's not in this test. Now, let me give you a couple other thoughts as we go into this. Number one, RapidFire kicked butt in this test, there's no doubt, but this test was all done with exactly one camera and one flight controller. In the first round of hardware from RapidFire, they did amazing with some cameras, and then they just absolutely took a dump with some other cameras and flight controllers. Now, in the second round of hardware, ImmersionRC says that has all been addressed. And I do agree that complaints have significantly reduced. And when you see complaints, it's like, well, which hardware are you on? But, Srinath, what the hell, man? It's just aimed at getting money from Super Chats. I'm doing the result as a live stream because people enjoy live streams. If you don't like live streams, I will be publishing these results as just a fucking table you can look at. So you can get that if you want. Yeah, what do you got to say about that?
I think it's ridiculous for somebody to accuse you of being unfair or whatever. Don't worry about this as far as making money. Like, he does this for a living. I'm a Patreon because I believe in what Josh does. I think he's awesome, and I think these results are great, and I think it's
nice.
Please don't.
Shills. All right, thank you for sticking up for me. But no, I mean, I'm doing it as a live stream because I enjoy live streams and other people enjoy live streams. If you don't like live streams, I will make the same information available to you in a single thing. I'm not. You hear me begging for super chats at any point in this? No, I'm just having fun doing the results. Calm down, Sri. Take it easy. All right, now I shouldn't have called you out because now chat, take it easy. Don't stop. Don't jump on him. I should have just kept my mouth shut. Now I've made a big deal out of it. Okay, move on. If you want to send super chats telling me what you think of that. No. So the second version, go back to, I was talking about RapidFire. Before the second hardware version came out, I would have said RapidFire, I'm not saying this, but I would have said RapidFire won with this camera on this day. But the problem is, you never know if RapidFire is going to not like your camera and take a dump. And RapidFire, it would die so suddenly. You would have a great signal, and then boom, it would just lose lock and go. That is not happening with the second round of hardware, and that is why I am switching to RapidFire. I'm going to give it a fair shake. It's going to be in my goggles on a day-to-day basis as my primary module, and I'm going to see for myself whether it lets me down. Because a module that you can't trust, doesn't matter how good it is, if in the middle of a race suddenly it takes a dump and you can't see. I would rather have a consistent module that gives me 80% performance than a module that surprises me with a dropout and crashes my quad with 95% performance. But RapidFire, the second hardware revision, seems to be doing better, and I think it's worth giving it the benefit of the doubt. But the other thing to keep in mind is this. So many people looked at these test results and said, they're not that freaking different. Like, I should put one up. Maybe I'll do this. RapidFire versus Skzyone. The difference, depending on where you fly and how you fly, I was intentionally pushing these to the edge of their range to make the difference more apparent. Depending on where you fly and how you fly, the difference in RF reception may not be that big. And that brings up other criteria that come into play when buying these modules. I think a lot of people are going to be very, very happy. Hang on. I'm going to look something up and I'll show you what I'm talking about. This was not in the test. But what I want to show you is... So this is the RX 5808 Pro Plus module. This is $50. You can order it with Achilles firmware already on it, $56. The Achilles firmware is pre-installed on it, and it has in-goggle OSD. $60. That is a hell of a great deal. Achilles firmware is good. Is it the best? Who cares? You say $60 versus $140, and for a lot of people, that is going to be a great deal, especially somebody getting into the hobby. So, other things to think about. I love the LaForge, even though the LaForge didn't win every test. I have used LaForge as my primary module for a long time. I love the LaForge interface, and I love the fact that it has in-goggle OSD, so you can access every single function of the LaForge menu without ever taking your goggles off your head. To me, I would pick LaForge over TrueD every day because of that menu, the in-goggle menu, and because I find the TrueD interface to be a little clunky, but the OSD makes a difference for me. I would do it any day of the week. So that's something to keep in mind. Let's see. How can you tell if you have the first or second hardware version of RapidFire? If you bought it in the last month, if you were on pre-order for months and months and months, and then you just got it, that's the second revision. If you got it months ago, that's the first revision. If you have the first revision of the RapidFire hardware, then you should be using Diversity Mode 2, because Diversity Mode 1 will have a problem on a lot of cameras. Okay. You've got LaForge, Danger Dave FPV. Yeah, LaForge V4 is better. It has the OSD, the on-screen display that lets you access the goggle in the module. Yeah. Adam, it's the RapidFire, the latest version of RapidFire, the shipment that just came out, is both slightly improved hardware and updated firmware, but there is a difference in the hardware. Tony Long asks, would 2.4 gig video beat all of these? Probably. Yeah, 2.4 gig video would probably destroy all of these, but if you are not using Crossfire or some other, easy UHF, if you're using 2.4 gig control, you cannot use 2.4 gig video. Cody R points out that if you have RapidFire, you can go to the status page and it says what hardware version you have. 102 is the original hardware, 104 is the second. Thank you for the super chat. Thanks to everybody who has put a super chat up. Smooth Cruiser, how come pro racers are not switching to RapidFire yet? I think they are. I mean, I don't go to a ton of races, but I've heard from so many people just RapidFire everywhere. So, do you need to update RapidFire Batch 2? Well, depends on how your performance is. Try the newest hardware and try the newest firmware and see what happens.
Hey, JB.
Yeah, what's up?
Message from Tony Cake. He says you can tell Batch 2 because it has a small rubber block next to the OLED display.
Small rubber block next to the OLED display.
Yep.
The real question, if you've got Tony Cake on the, how are you talking? Are you just messaging him privately?
Yeah.
Okay, well, if you've got him on the line, the uncomfortable question that I'm not afraid to ask is, for all the people who bought version 1 hardware, if they just update to the latest firmware, are they basically just as good, or should they be trying to swap it out for version 2 hardware? See what he says to that.
He already answered that for me a while back, and his answer was, there is so little difference between the two, it's not worth swapping.
Okay, so what he said was that the sensitivity was slightly improved on the version 2 hardware, but it sounds like the major changes that have been made have been in the firmware. And so if you have version 1 hardware and you update the firmware, you should have the latest and the greatest. Yep. OwlRC, did I use the latest firmware? Yes, the OwlRC was updated to the latest firmware that I had access to anyway. I'm not sure if it's the one that's shipping on it. So what I would say about the OwlRC is that its performance was impressive. It did a good job, and I feel like it slightly edged the field. We need more testing to be sure, but I feel like there was some hope that OwlRC would be just as good as RapidFire, and I feel like it did not live up to that in this testing. Maybe we can. It seems like the field is RapidFire and supposedly ClearView doing something pixie dust like, and then everybody else is kind of in the middle, and you should just pick what you want. RapidFire, OwlRC, TrueD, LaForge, Achilles. Just pick the one you like the best, based on other factors like price, user interface, and so forth. And then it just doesn't seem like there's... I bet if we were to rerun these tests, we would get slightly different results, or maybe we wouldn't. I don't know. Yeah, LaForge had the diversity module, of course, on the lake. No big deal there. The OwlRC module does have on-screen display, so it does have OSD. Eachine Pro 58, yeah, the new Furious thing you tested, it is... I can't say more about it, MD FPV, unfortunately. All I can say... it's a little unfair because all I'm doing is just like building hype for something you can't buy yet. So I apologize for that. I feel a little slimy. I asked them to send me a new Dock King so that I could see if my Dock King was defective. And instead of sending me a new Dock King, they sent me this other thing and said, will you please test it? And I was like, okay. And so, I'm just a little bit of hype for this new Furious product that won't be out for months. And when it does come out, maybe it'll be better, and maybe it will be worse. But in this test, it did slightly better than the stock TrueD. Let's see. We demand a retrial. Quads of the Stone Age. I'd love to rerun this testing under different conditions. I know that some of you guys were like, "Oh my God, 12 videos to review," but some people love it. And I appreciate that. What I'd like to do is to take these guys over to like a car park, like a parking garage, a big cement parking garage, and test them under a heavy multipath environment. Because honestly, the raw sensitivity of the module, it mostly relates to the hardware design, and the hardware design of most of these guys is not that different. The multipathing, which is where the diversity really kicks in, that's where the software can really make a difference. And I feel like we might see that. We might see a bigger difference in the firmwares in a multipath environment. But today, this is the test that we did. Eric Hdl reminds us that this is data. If you like yours the best, then that's all that matters. Yep, you're absolutely right. I wish that RapidFire had a more developed on-screen display. Like when I change channels with my RapidFire, it bugs me that I can't see what channel I'm changing to. And I'm sure they'll fix that eventually in a firmware, but they don't do it today, and that's kind of annoying. Jerome Demers, you could rerun Jerome, it's interesting you say that. Could you rerun the very same video and people would give different results? I don't think so, Jerome, because most of these were pretty definitive. I think there were pretty clear winners and losers, and I think if we were to rerun the exact same video, we would get similar results. However, if we were to rerun the same test, would we get the same results? And I just take the same modules on a different day and rerun it. And I'm not sure. I think that's a good question. We just don't have infinite time and energy to do these tests, but I refuse to let that convince me that we shouldn't do it at all. Spartan FPV says we need more info on the EV200D. They are the best value by far. EV200D, $300. It's a good value. I will tell you guys. Oh, maybe I'll show you guys how much we got. 623 people on the stream. I'm going to give you guys a preview of a video that I made. It has to do with the EV200D. Hold on. Let me get it. Let me bring up the video. This is a preview. I'm going to have to mute it so you guys don't hear me talking. Hang on. Mute. Okay. This is a video that will be coming out on my channel soon, but as a bonus for you guys who are in the live stream, since I've had so much time to get good at taking pictures of Fatshark goggles, I have made a video showing the screens on all these goggles, and this is the part I'm really proud of. I bought an HDMI to composite converter so I could take my laptop screen and play it into the goggle. So I could play the same flight again and again, and you could watch it in the goggles. How about that? So check this out. A little bonus for you guys who are sticking around on the live stream. All 623 people. Wow. This is the Fatshark Hdl. This is what it actually looks like, as close as I could get it with sticking a camera in there. What do you think of that? This will be coming out on my channel this week. That's what the HDO looks like. And here is, hang on, here's what the HD3 looks like. Oh, interesting. HDO, HD3. And the reason I'm showing you this is, here's the HD2. Ooh, big HD2. HD2. HDO. Oh, interesting. Here's why I'm showing you that. Is because here's the EV200D. It's not bad, especially for $300. It's not bad. Hang on, let me back it up slightly. There's the HD2. We'll go right into the EV200D. There's the HD2. Hang on, it's almost there. And here's the EV200D. Ready? There it is. It's not bad. It doesn't have quite the same contrast, but the color isn't bad. It's a little washed out, I think. But what's this? What the hell is this? That's a little speck of dust on in the lenses. Oops. And look at this. Look at this light leak at the side. What is that? So, you don't see that with the Fatsharks. Like, you guys can see right here at the edge of the screen. See that? That's the actual amount of light leak that the Fatshark is creating. That's actually worse than reality, because in reality, your face is up against the goggles and it's blocking the reflections a little bit, whereas this is just with a towel over it. The EV200D is clearly not on the same level of quality in terms of the screens and in terms of the design. Here it is in 4.3 mode as the Fat Sharks. But for $300, it's pretty good. Here's the Commander V2. Oh my God, what is going on there? You'll have to wait to see the video. Okay, that's a little tease there. Oh, I see. Yep. The Canopus is perfect for recording from a module and playing back to goggles with near perfect recreation. Yeah. Yep. So, yep, I was just playing out. It was actually GoPro video, frankly. I was just playing it out because I just wanted to give some footage. Hey, Gorilla FPV, if you're having your comment got hidden because you said sucks balls and that triggered the moderation. I'm going to show your comment. But Gorilla FPV, if you're having trouble with the JBF4 flight controller and can't get video with it, you can just reach out to support@racedayquads.com, or you can just email me directly. You don't have to come badmouth the product in my live stream. You could just email me or message me, and I will do my very, very best to help you out. So, test. All right, guys. We got the results. Now you know. You can decide. What do you think? Anybody, Discord, anybody out there going to go buy a new module based on this? Some people are going to buy RapidFires based on this.
I put RapidFire in my cart, but I haven't hit buy yet.
Okay. There you go. If anybody out there, we're gonna close up the live stream. We're gonna wrap it up. That was it. No, Spartan FPV, that light leak was not from the foam. That EV200D light leak was from the backlight, I think, of the LCD screen leaking through. And you see it when your face is against the foam. You absolutely do. I wouldn't have put it. I know that not other people have said, I don't know why mine doesn't look like that. I only know what mine looks like, and that's what it looks like. Sorry. How can you see the results? Right. So I am going to put, hang on, where's the frickin', there we go. 1 second, guys. So I have for you guys, because I know not everybody's going to rewatch this whole thing, I'm going to put this link in the video, description. Check this out. Hang on. There we go. So I made, damn it. Sorry. I made this chart, which lets you see basically who won, okay? You can see not only who won, but what the actual spread of the win was. So here's the left side. So you say, okay, True D was on the left and LaForge was on the right. Well, True D won and in one test and neutral in the other test. You see how that works? So I'm going to put a link to this down in the video description. It'll be up at my website, www.fpvknowitall.com. Somebody got a comment? Okay. Somebody's not on push to talk. Oh, there he goes. Let me say, as we're on the outbound side, thank you guys for watching. I love doing these live streams. And I love doing this kind of testing. And I know this testing isn't perfect, but I hope that it can help gather data. Some data is better than none, I think, even if it's not perfect. And if you guys want to help support me, you can do that by becoming a patron, patreon.com. There's a link down in the video description of my website, actually, which has all the ways you can support me. Becoming a patron is one. I really appreciate my patrons. Watching ads on my videos is one, although it's not very much. So use the ad blocker. I don't care. Using the affiliate links, if you're going to buy one of these modules, click the affiliate link down in the video description before you buy it. I don't care which one you buy. Doesn't matter to me. Like, people are like, oh, he's making money off this. You buy whichever one you want. Doesn't matter to me. So I just like helping you guys pick good products. You can click those affiliate links before you buy any product from any of those websites. It doesn't cost you anything extra. It just gives me a little bit of a margin. So that's really nice. Thank you guys so much. We're going to finish up the live stream, though. Thanks to my patrons for being in the Discord with me. Any final comments, you guys?
Not at the moment. I think it was pretty cool the way you did the results, though. Very, very well done.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Definitely wish I had this months ago.
Yeah, well, hopefully, share it around, and hopefully people can make. I mean, RapidFire is clearly. People said, "Oh, RapidFire is just hype," right? But I think it clearly came out ahead here. Thomas Carnell, the Commanders did worse than most of the other modules, basically. And the Commanders, I don't like the way the screen looks either. Aomway Commander V2 for $400+ I'll spoil the results of this video that's coming out this week. I just don't think you should even consider it. For $400, if you're going to spend $400 on goggles, buy the Fatshark HD2 Terminator Edition or buy the Fatshark HD3 for $400. It's much better. Yeah. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. That's going to be the end. Thank you, guys.